We're going to get in contact now with Manny Navarro from The Athletic. He covers, of course, your Miami Hurricanes on a daily basis for The Athletic. So we'll have a little fun with Manny. And if you have any questions that you want me to ask Manny about your Canes, post them there on the YouTube chat board. Of course, you can also send them in on Twitter at Big O Show. You can send them in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786 322 1105. That's 786 322 1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. And, of course, you could follow Manny on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And catch his work there at, of course, The Athletic. We got Manny. Our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report is on the air. We do it every week at this time. Manny, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good, man. Can't complain. So they've got a new hire, a recruiting type guy that can't go out to recruit, but can only recruit inside. So walk us through all of this.
Well, you're talking about the Ed Reed hire? Which hire are you talking about?
No, the one after Ed Reed. The oh man, what's his name now?
Oh, Telly Lockett?
That's it, Lockett. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, well, Telly is, obviously he's been a college assistant coach at multiple schools, and he's, former head coach at Miami Central. When Dalvin Cook and Joe Yearby and those guys were around winning state championships. And so Telly's very well connected in the city, played at Northwestern High, and so they're bringing him in as an offensive analyst, which is basically what a lot of these SEC schools do. They hire all these guys as analysts because you can't put them on the coaching staff. And basically what they're there to do, besides give their input in the game plan and so forth, is help with recruiting when these kids, either through social media or through whenever they make visits on campus. That's when they're allowed to sort of make their impact. So, the 10 assistant coach, the 10 assistant coaches and the one head coach are the only ones allowed to sort of go off campus and recruit. But listen, man, between social media, Twitter, everything else, it doesn't matter. It's like these kids are going to get contacted, and I'm sure Telly Lockett will be involved in recruiting and helping Miami out.
All right, so let's get to the Ed Reed hire. What are your thoughts on the Ed Reed hire?
Well, I mean, look, I know people look at it and say, well, what's Ed really going to do? What kind of impact is he going to have? To me, anytime you bring in a recognizable name, a Hall of Famer, like Ed Reed, it's a good thing, to have more of those guys around on a regular basis. Now, Ed's been very involved as it is behind the scenes, talking to Manny Diaz and coming in and giving speeches and talking to guys periodically. Seems like this is more of a commitment from him. I don't know how much more of a commitment because, he's still a very busy guy. But my thought is that, on all the recruiting weekends and certainly during the season, when the team is game planning and preparing, he's going to be around the kids. He's going to be an overseer of everything and try to influence things in a positive way. And, coaching, no, he's not going to be coaching, but he will be in meetings. He will be around Manny Diaz and trying to make this program better. And I got no problem with that. I think the more positive influence you have, the better, especially nowadays. It's really hard to get kids to listen. And I think, Ed Reed's voice carries a lot of weight, and so I think kids are going to listen to him.
Do those kids know him?
Yeah, they know him. There's no doubt. They know him, and he's been around, and, it's just different when you're given a title, too. I mean, when you're the former player who just kind of comes back every now and then, and, you hang out, hey, that's Ed Reed, that's cool, it's good to see Ed. But now that he's given a title, and he's going to be around more, I guess it's going to carry more weight than it did before. Is Miami going to win a national championship because Ed Reed is shutting down staff? No, that's not what I'm saying, by any stretch of the imagination. But I certainly think it helps. And look, the whole problem that Miami has, aside from the fact that they're not recruiting players like they used to, they're not producing a bunch of NFL first rounders and winning on the field. Besides all of that, there is a culture issue. There is an issue of a lot of these kids leaving early for the draft, not having any other seniors around to leave. I think if Ed can be an influence on the leaders of this team and sort of set a positive example, that only reinforces what Manny is trying to get across to them. In the end, it's all on the head coach. The head coach has to get this right. He has to lay the foundation for culture, etc. But hiring Ed Reed, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think people need to sort of look at it that way, is the way I would say it.
Right. Now, how about this? The other thing that I was thinking about is that when you look at the Ed Reed hire, is the Ed Reed hire more about Manny hiring a guy that is legitimately there to help him instead of the Alonzo Highsmith hire that might have been the guy to oversee him? Is that the difference in these hires?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the way that position was always viewed was, the board of trustee members and the people with power at Miami who were pushing for Alonzo to get hired. It was to be sort of a general manager type role. And this is what Manny wanted, which is a guy who is not going to have that say over his job. Somebody who's going to come and support him. So, yes, I think that's the difference between Alonzo Highsmith and Ed Reed and the position of what they're doing.
Listen, I got to give Manny a lot of credit here, okay? Because as critical as we were during the regular season, and we should be critical of him during the regular season because they were a disaster and they were unprepared. I'll give him credit, dude. He attacked pretty much every weakness that they've had or everything that you can question. He's tried to better everything possible, from the quarterback to the kicker to the offensive coordinator, adding a pass rusher, more talent. I mean, if things don't get better, then I don't know how the hell they get better, because I give him credit. At least he addressed their issues.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's what a head coach is supposed to do. I mean, we can look back at an example a couple of years ago. Everybody knew that the defense was the issue, but Al Golden never followed up an offer. How many years did they stay in that defense, even though everybody knew that schematically what they were trying to do, putting weight on guys and playing this 3-4 system, was a huge mistake. And, Golden stuck to his guns and he never made the change, and ultimately it cost him his job. Manny's kind of gone the complete opposite. I mean, he's making changes philosophically, changing the entire look of the offense, changing the coaching staff. Like you said, going out and getting a graduate transfer quarterback. There's a lot of college coaches, I mean, I know it's becoming more popular now, getting the grad transfer quarterback, but, I think foundationally, I think a lot of them prefer it. Let's go get a 4-year guy who's going to be on our system versus let's just, instead of just plucking somebody off that we don't know how they're going to fit into our program. So Manny's going on a lot. He's making all the changes that he needs to make to try to fix this thing. So you certainly can't blame him for sitting on his hands and doing nothing, because he's done the complete opposite of that.
What's the latest in transfer portals, in or out?
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at the roster, to me, I think there's going to be more guys who leave probably after spring football. It's just the way things work now. As far as scholarships, I mean, Miami doesn't really have much in the way left of what it can use from under
25. Manny, you've been going in and out a little bit there with your voice. That sometimes it gets to a point where we can't understand what you're saying. So try to.
I apologize.
Yeah, it's all good. Go ahead.
I don't know if the phone connection is bad or what on my end. It probably is. But what I was saying was that ultimately, I mean, I think after spring football, there's going to be guys who leave. I mean, there always is, guys who look at their situation on the roster and the depth chart and say, I better go somewhere else because I'm not going to play here. So I would think that at the end of spring football, there will be more guys who decide to leave. But as far as adding, there's not a lot in the way of available scholarships because you have that 25 limit. So I would think here that, they're pretty much up to the limit to this point. If they add somebody, it'd be one or two guys. But there's really nobody at this point who's being discussed as a realistic option.
All right, Manny Navarro. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and you can catch his work, of course, at The Athletic. Somebody's asking me here. Ray is asking to ask you about Isaiah Dunson. He says, I thought he was committed and he had signed with Miami. I have no idea who that is, so you tell me.
Yeah, he's a commitment that they got last month in January. A 4-star cornerback out of the Georgia area. As far as I know, he's supposed to sign with Miami tomorrow. Now I don't know if something has changed here at the last minute, but I think Miami coaches were expecting him to sign and be part of the class. I'm going to the kid's Twitter account now. He still has a photo of himself up with his arms extended in a Hurricane uniform. So I don't think anything's changing, but who knows? Maybe that guy's hearing something else on the internet or something that I don't know about.
Manny, what are you hearing about Diaz's tenure for next year? Is it something that is being talked about in the hierarchy about he's got to show us a lot this year? Is it a prove it type year? What are you hearing behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it certainly is a prove it type year for him, and I think by most standards you would think, hey, you're not going to fire a coach after 2 years, but it certainly has gotten to that point in college football where other schools have done it. Florida State obviously just did it. So I think if Miami comes out and they have another 6 or 7 win season there really is no progress, then I think Manny's certainly somebody who's on the chopping block, somebody who could be fired. Now, granted, he signed a 5-year deal and would have to be paid off, as far as what's owed to him. But that would be technically 3 more years after this year. So I don't know how expensive that would get for Miami and what kind of buyout deal they have in place with Diaz. But, we know Miami's not the kind of school that spends a whole lot of money on coaching prospects, etc. They're not going to break the bank. And if they owe Manny Diaz a ton of money, and I know that things could get complicated. So, he could certainly lose his job this year, but my guess is it would have to be another terrible season, really disappointing for him to lose his job.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It has to be something like what we saw this year, but you can't. Where are we with? You can't lose those games that you're not supposed to lose. So what happens if because it's a pretty easy schedule that they've got coming up. This is one of those schedules that kind of like the one you had this year that you should have won 10 games. And apparently you have a better quarterback now, supposedly.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, I would think the only thing that would excuse the Hurricanes from losing, going 8 wins or 7 wins or 6 wins would be if Derek King were to get hurt early in the season and you have a bunch of injuries, then you could always, say, look, we had a bunch of injuries. It was tough to deal with. But I think if he's healthy and he's as good as advertised, then this team should win 9 to 10 games and be right there in the thick of the race for the Coastal Division crown. There are no super teams in that division. Obviously, you still have Clemson, and Clemson's going to be very, very good once again. But I think as far as the division itself, everybody looks at it and says there's no reason Miami shouldn't be in contention and shouldn't win that division and go play in the ACC title game.
Manny, am I leaving out anything that I have not asked that Canes fans should know about, my friend?
Well, the good thing is tomorrow we're going to finally get a chance to talk to Rhett Lashley, the new offensive coordinator. You're going to hear Derek King speak tomorrow at some point. There'll be some videos and stuff out. I don't know what time, but I know that some of those guys are going to be available to the media, so that's going to be good for us. And so we'll have some stories and some content coming from you Wednesday. There's not going to be a whole lot in the way of news from signing day because, like I said, now college football has transitioned to really where the early signing period is everything. And if you don't have much in the way of scholarships left after transfers, you don't get a lot of action on National Signing Day, February 5th. But as far as everything else is concerned, tomorrow will be a good day for Hurricane fans to get to hear from Lashley, you get to hear from Derek King and probably Manny Diaz as well.
And, of course, you want to hear more from my man Manny Navarro, you better sign up for The Athletic. It's like $4 a month, and you get the entire country and all of your local teams, which is really, really cool. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, you are a stud. Thank you for our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report, my friend. Thank you.
Good talking to you. We'll talk soon.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. Go visit Brett and all the great people at Caneswear. And, of course, thank Brett for producing this Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report every single week. So another earthquake hit Puerto Rico, 5.0 a couple hours ago.
Is this an aftershock? Or
no, 5.0, I said. So the Puerto Rico seismic, right? Is it seismic? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, seismic.
Seismic network reported that a magnitude 5.0 earthquake rattled the U.S. territory on Tuesday morning. Puerto Rico has been hit by a series of earthquakes and aftershocks since late December. Andrea Gonzalez Ramirez, she tweeted out 3 hours ago, another 5.0 earthquake hit Puerto Rico. The island has been shaking since December 28th. Today is February 4th. Okay?
Well, those aftershocks could register as a hurricane. I mean, an earthquake.
Hurricane?
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, but these are earthquakes, bro. I just said it was an earthquake, okay? Stop with that stuff. Magnitude 5.0 earthquake just south of Puerto Rico, 9:45 Eastern. This follows a series of smaller quakes this morning and at least one, this is what you're talking about, aftershock 4.0 in the same area. I mean, my daughter just flew in there, spent a couple days last week, and flew back out because she had to go for a convention. And she had to do some kind of a presentation, medical presentation crap. And so I got to tell you, my wife and I, like, we tried to convince her not to go. Seriously. We told her, like, do you have to go? Is this a must? Like, that island's been hit by all kinds of, disasters now. And just, like, I'm kind of worried. And here goes another one. And by the way, the day she flew over, they had just gotten hit by that other quake the day before. But it wasn't like on the island. It was just outside. Like this one is too. This one's just like where it's registering. See, look at Puerto Rico, and it's just outside of the island, right on the water there, right on the coast. Wow. Doesn't that kind of make you feel strange? That they keep suffering one quake after another, after another, after another. I don't wish this on anybody. Don't get me wrong here. But I'm almost at the point where I think it's going to get worse. Like I'm waiting for a bigger one that's going to do damage to the island. I'm feeling terrible for these people. I mean, this country, or, I don't know what you want to call it, U.S. Providence or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it, but whatever it is, whatever this is, extension of us, they have gone through hell and back, man, with hurricanes and earthquakes and all this stuff. Are you kidding me? Man, that's just absolutely brutal.
One of the things about being here, you deal with a hurricane, you're able to prepare, board up. Yeah. The idea, you want to be on stable ground, feet planted firm, solid.
But nothing's...
The fact that the ground's going to open up and swallow you, that's not cool.
Nothing's perfect, man.
Of course, but they got...
You're in Oklahoma, it's tornadoes.
Tornadoes,
here,
it's
hurricanes.
And tornadoes are bad because you get a half a minute, whatever it is, a couple minutes
you
notice.
You don't even know. Well, now you get some notice.
Yes, they have developed
Now systems, you get notice.
Yes.
But 50, 70, 100 years ago, of those sirens.
Hey, what's going on outside?
You were too far from the siren. You didn't know. You didn't see it till it was pretty close, and then you're scrambling. Can you imagine the middle of the night when you're sleeping and those things form?
Nah, forget it.
And then that's when you don't hear it till it's like right there, and you're like, oh, run downstairs to the basement.
Cellar.
And all those people have to go into the cellar, basement, whatever the hell it is. Oh, man.
Puerto Rico right now having to deal with all the hurricanes they have and now earthquakes on top of it, man. That's just not cool.
And they're
unfair.
And their system is so antiquated. Everything, even their electrical system that's been damaged, it's so antiquated, it's really weird, man. They like their electrical system is from like the 50s. It's crazy because they've never improved any of that stuff. So anytime they have a natural disaster, it could cripple the island, which it's still, I think parts of that island are still kind of crippled.
Oh, they've talked about it. There was a large portion of Puerto Rico that still did not have power.
I don't know.
Dating back from a year ago, the hurricane.
Yeah, then again, my daughter was like, "Oh, we had a great time. We were fine. We had a because they stayed right in their hotel area and just the tourist area and all that, and they were fine because we told her don't go anywhere."
Well, any of those islands like that, as long as you stay within your realm of the happiness, it's taken care of. Everything is up to date and working. You get outside of that infrastructure, and yeah, it's antiquated.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 786.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Do you, if you want to get in, 786-322 322-1105 for the accidentlawfirm.com text line. And, of course, you can get in on Twitter at Big O Show. Instagram also is another way to get in on the show. And we'll have some fun here for a few more minutes. We're going to have Andy Behrens on here at the bottom of the hour to have a little fantasy basketball talk. So we'll get to that.
I'm interested to hear what his angles are, especially with the trade deadline coming up. What is it, Wednesday?
Yes.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
See where guys move and Iguodala and all,
Yeah, I lost Luka for another 6 games now. It's just like I don't stop, man. It's just one injury after. Since I started with John Collins suspension, it's just kept going and kept going and kept going. It's like I don't get any damn breaks so far this year. It's been a frustrating fantasy basketball year for me in a big time way. Lakeisha Smith says, "Good afternoon, Big O."
She's back.
Lakeisha, where you been?
Yeah, we've been asking about her for what, over a week?
Yeah, she's been gone. So, welcome back, Lakeisha.
Yes, welcome back. We've missed you.
Yeah, how about that? She's chimed in. She's back, which is always a beautiful thing. We love all our regulars to be out there, as always, joining us on the program. All right, let's do this. Let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll come back on the other side. We'll get ready for Andy Behrens here on the program. If you want to get in, it's really simple. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And folks, if you're looking for a mortgage and you're tired of dealing with the current mortgage company, they're giving you the runaround, you've been declined, call Choice Mortgage Bank. They do it all. They're your one-stop shop. And folks, we can still get you into a fixed mortgage rate under 3.5%. I've been telling you about Michael Codsey now for nearly 10 years because nobody works harder than him. You're going to see it firsthand. Why I've been bragging for over 9 years about this. This is why you want to call Choice Mortgage Bank. 561-441-2730. And let me tell you something. This is the owner's personal cell number. That's the kind of confidence he has that he knows he's going to come through for you. His staff is awesome. 561-441-2730. State rates under 3.5% right now. Call him. Choice Mortgage Bank.
Man, that was weak, that picture. That's so weak.
All righty, we are back. We're talking a little fantasy basketball with Andy Behrens from Yahoo Fantasy. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens and catch his work there at Yahoo Fantasy. Let's bring him aboard. Andy, how you doing, my man?
Big O, good. It's good to be back. Back from a week of relatively relaxing vacation, and I've come back to a trade deadline. It could get crazy, might get crazy, should get crazy. Let's hope so.
All right. Well, if it's going to go crazy, the question is who gets traded, who opens up an opportunity for others. So tell me about a possible trade, maybe a holiday or something else. Tell me somebody that could get moved and could open it up for somebody else.
It's funny you mentioned like Drew Holiday. Like if I could just wish one NBA trade really for my friends in Miami, maybe it would be Drew Holiday to the Heat. That's like the East to me is as great as Milwaukee has been. To my eye, it seems like there's a couple teams that are like a player away from being serious contenders for an East title, knowing that Milwaukee has never actually won it, has not actually like gotten through to the finals with Giannis. Like if I'm Miami, I'm kicking the tires on certainly every available like really really good veteran point guard. Now I don't know that New Orleans would really entertain a Holiday deal. He seems to be just an almost perfect player for the Heat. That would seem kind of a no brainer. I'm sure it would involve like a Tyler Hero deal or some other player that you wouldn't want to flip, but. Man, if that's the cost of really competing for the a chance to represent the East in the finals, that would certainly be worth it. We have so many guys who range from near stars, like all-star level players, guys like Kevin Love, Andre Drummond, who could get dealt, down to maybe more likely candidates to get dealt, like Derrick Rose, even though he's dealing with a groin injury right now, like Marcus Morris. And then you have to start looking at players who would then benefit if those guys get flipped. Certainly, if Kevin Love is actually dealt, and that's presumptuous because he has, I think $100 million deal, right? Like he's like early into a huge deal. He's going to be an older player certainly by the end of it. So maybe that doesn't actually happen for Cleveland. But if it does, Larry Nance is a pretty clear winner there. If the Knicks can ease up that logjam of 4s and 5s they have, and Morris gets dealt maybe to a place like maybe the Clippers, maybe they're interested, certainly frees up more shots in a greater runway for a player like R.J. Barrett, somebody that you could probably get at a reasonable trade cost right now. And, it's like Derrick Rose, I think, is probably of all the names mentioned, maybe the most likely to get traded. Again, assuming the injury is not too serious. And when has that ever been a problem with Derrick? And the guys that benefit there are like, Reggie Jackson, who's recently returned from injury, and Bruce Brown, who's played really well, especially well when he gets 30 minutes a night.
Well, if Daniel's in the house, should he be on your roster? If he's out there.
Oh yeah, he's been one of the most heavily added players in Yahoo leagues over the last couple of days. I think he is actually today's most added player, coming up on like 35 to 40% ownership in Yahoo leagues right now. Also coming off a 12 rebound game, which doesn't even seem like it should be his forte, right? But he's one of those. He's not quite Duncan Robinson in terms of threes. Like Robinson is just metronomically 4 3-pointers a night. But House has been 2 to 4 basically every game. He's playing almost 30 minutes a night, and sometimes that really spikes. And when it spikes, he's going to give you multiple steals. He's going to close in on, 8, 10, 12 rebounds, and he's good for double-digit points. So House is actually a guy who's been really useful across 3 or 4 categories. He's not just one of those, threes and point specialists.
All right, so you and I have talked about it several times. I'm hanging on to his ass. When is Christian going to be sporting wood?
God, this is like the most agonizing thing in fantasy right now. Like the per 36 numbers are clear. The numbers are perfectly clear that when he gets minutes, the production follows. Like his last game against Memphis, he gets 34 minutes. Of course, that results in a full fantasy line. It was a couple of threes, 17 points, few boards, couple of steals, couple of blocks, right? Like that is legitimately what you can expect from him when he gets 30 minutes a night. Of course, he never gets 30 damn minutes a night. One of the Morris brothers is there, but like Andre Drummond should get dealt. He should get dealt.
Please.
That should actually happen.
Please.
I don't know what the price is going to be. It's really hard for me to believe that there's not a team out there that's willing to throw like a late first round pick at a guy who is 16 rebounds a game. Like yes. Andre Drummond's a really good player. It's not a prototypical 5 in today's NBA, but my God, like there's got to be some value to somebody who wins every contested rebound. That is still a meaningful skill. As long as Drummond actually gets dealt, then Christian Wood, a guy who's still available in about 60% of Yahoo leagues, maybe more than that. He's just a no-brainer ad. He's just a must-add. He's a guy who could deliver top 50 fantasy value over the balance of the season. He's a really good player who doesn't necessarily have a pass of minutes right now.
Well, I've had a lot of frustrations this year with my fantasy team. Injuries, suspensions, and the latest is Luka. I lost Luka, man, but I didn't get Brunson. Is that the answer?
Yeah, the good news there is that it doesn't sound like this Luka thing is going to be particularly long-lasting, right? And you've also got the benefit of All-Star Weekend coming up, so that's going to be a light week anyway. So it's pretty good. He's going to have time to recuperate. There weren't necessarily a ton of games out there that he's going to miss, but Brunson is pretty clearly the ad. 30 minutes the other night. Didn't really have a full fantasy line, but the game before, I think it was the Atlanta game, 27 points, I believe it was, 8 assists. He's just a guy who can fill the box score. He's not going to be huge in terms of defensive goodies, but just marvelous instincts. Just a winning player. We saw that obviously at the college level. I saw plenty of him when he was a prep player around Chicago. Just a great player, super heady guy, and he's going to be a really solid fantasy play. Got back-to-back games coming up this weekend, so if you can add him right now. He's somebody who's available in 72% of Yahoo leagues. Just brought him up. He's got back-to-back games over the weekend at Washington and Charlotte. Any game against Washington is super fantasy-friendly. They play at ridiculous pace. They give up a huge number of points. I mean, that's like a possible 2010 game for Brunson right there.
Terrence Davis, how do we look at that guy? Is there any chance that he gets a little more playing time?
I mean, there's a chance. Sure, I guess. Toronto is so cluttered, and I don't have a great guess at what they're going to do. There's certainly opportunity out there for them right now. They've got some players out of the lineup. I don't know if he's a trade chip for them. I don't know what happens with Anunoby. I don't know if they make a move. I don't. If you're the Raptors GM right now, what do? You're red hot. You never lose. You're on pace, I think, right now to win more games than they actually won last year with Kawhi when they won the damn title. So I might almost be paralyzed by success if I were them right now. Davis is coming off a really hot game, just a terrific game. 6 threes, I want to say, the other night against Chicago. So, that was really fun to see. But of course, the Raptors are, outside of Siakam, a bit of a spin the wheel offense. It can be anybody, any night. So I wouldn't expect him to be, dominant over a longer period of time. They've got a couple games coming up with Indy, a relatively stingy defensive team. So I don't love him short term. And again, I don't know what to think the Raptors are going to actually do. For a while there, I was thinking maybe they would be a team that would flip Kyle Lowry, something like that, but they don't lose anymore. So, again,
so,
you're an
haven't
Eastern
they
team.
won 11 in a row or something like
11
that?
11 in a row. So, and they play such a beautiful game too. So I kind of doubt that Terrence Davis is in line for anything more than, say, 15 minutes a night going forward. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but it's hard to see Toronto rocking the boat too severely right now unless they're able to actually add a star.
Right, yeah, and but he looks good if they give him time. He's a guy that could actually benefit from it in a big-time way in that lineup, right? I mean, that's kind of what it looks like.
Oh, no question about it.
All right, what are you guys working on Yahoo Fantasy so folks can check you out, my man?
Yeah, on Thursday we are going to delay the recording of our podcast just a bit, and we're going to start about a half hour after the trade deadline passes to make sure that we catch absolutely everything. So we're going to have a big trade deadline reaction podcast coming out on Thursday night, and my man Dalton Belton is going to have his must-add players pickups video posted, I believe today. So a lot of hoops content out there for you.
It's a beautiful thing. As always, follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. More importantly, catch his exceptional work, my man, over at Yahoo Fantasy. Andy, as always, thank you for taking some time, my friend. We always appreciate it.
Thanks, Big O. Good luck,
got it,
people.
baby. Be good. There you go. The great Andy Behrens talking a little fantasy basketball. There you go. Not bad.
Yeah, he did correct me. 2 days from today, Thursday.
Is what, the deadline?
And I think he was saying 3 p.m. Eastern time is
the part that's – no, I think it's 4 normally. No, it is 3. The NFL is the one that does 4. 3 is basketball. And sometimes what they tell you in basketball is the deadline passes, but then a trade still might come through a couple minutes after the deadline because
it was in the
works.
works.
NBA is approving it and all that. They got it in.
The office, yes.
That's the one. Like the NFL, like 4 o'clock hits, it's over.
I love the MLB. Man, just go to midnight. Let's get the whole day to get everything, Come on.
Yeah, but MLB needs it. They need all the pub they can get and all that good stuff. God. I tell you, what happened to baseball, man? What happened to baseball? It's such a good sport. Such an incredible sport.
Just got a bunch of old people that are crotchety and stuck in their ways, and, somebody needs to come over there with a 2x4 and hit them upside the head or replace them, one or the other.
Lakeisha says she was having problems with her internet. Aha. That could be an issue, Lakeisha. That could be an issue.
We've been looking for you for the last
right.
week easily.
Remember, use your phones, too. You can use your phones to watch us. Anyway, we got to wrap it up here on the program. We got to thank Eric Edholm. We got to thank Manny Navarro. We got to thank Andy Behrens. Excellent guest today on the program. Most of all, we thank all of you for watching, listening, downloading, however it is you do it, whenever it is you do it, day, night, middle of the night, early morning, all of that. We love you for it. Don't forget to be also sending us a text. If you hate something I said, if you love something I said, if you're confused, which that could happen a lot, send it to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105 on behalf of Bill and John. We appreciate all of you out there for supporting us as always. If you want to be a part of the show, you want to be a sponsor, send it in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. You can reach out to us also on Twitter at Big O Show. We will see you all tomorrow morning, as always, right here, same time, same place, same bat channel. Be good out there.
We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.